Ooh. Oh, sorry. Oof. Good morning. Morning, Mayor. Happy birthday, Diane. Stevie Diane. Oh, Francis, you can't say freezing Boston, love. It's freezing America. It's freezing everywhere. Good morning, Phil Simpson. It's just freezing. Stay with me, Mayor, for a few minutes and then go back to sleep. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you. Okay, so good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Talk. Really quick, I have a message from Charlie. She wanted to make sure that I told you that on January 6th, make sure you leave your shoes by the bed because the 3 wise men could come and bring you gifts. I don't know what any of you would do with frankincense, myrrh, frankincense? Did I make that up? Remember, I was born Jewish. I can't always remember everything. If you were at Gianmarco's last night, you watched me cry through my whole dinner. It was really sad. But before I get into that, my eyes are watering. Before I get into that, I just want to tell you that I found out that the trailer for my movie, for Breaking In, listen to this, folks. The trailer for my movie, Breaking In, is going to premiere next week in front of Taraji's movie, Proud Mary. Proud Mary's getting a huge push and is on track to do 20 to 25 million opening weekend. When you go see Proud Mary, you will see the trailer for Breaking In. So, is it going to be super weird if I show up at the theater next week and just watch the trailers of like 10 different movies of Proud Mary? No, I mean, I'll watch Proud Mary too, but like if I'm screaming during the trailers. So like totally inside baseball, the trailer originally had Beyonce music, but Beyonce said no. Who knew that like celebrity, like singers could even, but Rihanna said yes. So the trailer has Rihanna music in it. It's very exciting. And now we're working to see if we can get our trailer in front of Black Panther. Don't get me started about the fact that there are only 2 black movies coming out between now and Mother's Day. Think about that. 2 black movies. So if you're a black person and you want to see yourself on screen and you want to watch a movie that relates to anything about your life, you get 2 options. You can either be a hitman in Proud Mary or you can be a superhero in Black Panther. You're welcome. And then people wonder why I create movies for minorities and women. Because there are never any stories for women or minorities. But that's a different coffee talk. Anyway, and I love white people. Obviously, white people. I'm white. But we could do better. We could do better. We could do better. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But anyway, if you go see Proud Mary, you're going to see the trailer for Breaking In, and you'll probably hear me crying somewhere in the background. Okay. So, last night, those of you who follow my page, you may have noticed that I did not post a We Made It Another Week picture. Because we're not sure. And that's the truth. So we went to dinner last night to talk about how we were going to move forward. And it was very sad. It was very sad. No matter what, even if you feel it's time, or if you feel you've tried everything or whatever, realizing that you may not be able to save your marriage is the saddest thing. It's like, I'm not even somebody who believes in fairy tales. I was never the person who believed you know, I don't know. It's sad. It's just a sad thing. So we talked about how we would move forward. And I think that at one point I got scared and I said, I'm not leaving my kids, you know. And he said, I would never ask you to. And in the end of the conversation, he said, do you see any other path but this one? And it led me to the question that I posted on, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I know everybody has a lot of questions. Believe me, I do too. It leads me to the question of, what are you afraid of if you set your broken heart aside to try to save your marriage? Most people are afraid of ending their marriage. But what are you afraid of if you try to save your marriage, right? And, you know, for me, I think the answer to what I'm afraid of is when you constantly tell somebody what you need and they don't meet those needs, and they say they will, and they say they hear you, and they say they get it, and they say they'll try, and they say they will, but they don't. I'm going to explain it. I know you guys have a lot of questions. Let me just get through this. You start to go insane, okay? I want you to understand something. When somebody looks you in the face and says, I hear you, I understand you, I get it, I'm going to do it, you're not crazy, I'm going to do it, I'm going to... Poor children, poor children. Oh, honey, you got to go. Block. All right, y'all, let me tell you something. If I share this part of my heart with you and your comment to me is, poor children, poor children, blocked. You can kiss my ass if you think I don't think about my children. What a shitty thing to say to a woman who bears her soul about trying to sort out her marriage. Poor children, poor children. Y'all, I want to fight that chick right now. You know how bad I want to fight that chick? You can't know how bad I want to fight that chick. Huh. Ooh. Y'all. Okay, I'm just going to let that go, because if I don't, this coffee talk's going to be really, really different. I can't allow anybody to make me crazy. just because I love Michael doesn't mean I can allow him to make me insane. Okay? I can't have somebody tell me that they acknowledge my needs and the issues in our marriage and do nothing to fix them. It starts to eat away at your like, what's the word I'm looking for? Your reality. You start to go like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? And I think Michael made some valid points last night in the conversation. He said, I fear that my actions have put us here, but your anger has kept us here. Now, I think there's part of him that's right in that. So I said to him, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think our anger has kept us here. But what have you done to help alleviate my anger? Because once you push a woman to a point where she is at this point, you can't continue to make mistakes in the marriage and expect her to just overlook them, because she's already at her breaking point. Right? You can't push me to the edge and then throw pebbles at me and say, well, I don't know why you're so mad. You're standing on the edge. I mean, that's not fair. So I really went into the conversation yesterday with him with a very open mind and an open heart. Like, truly, I said to him, here's the thing. I want to say something to you, and I really want you to hear me. Okay? I believe, this is a big statement. You ready for this one? I believe that God wants me to save my marriage. I am not a person who creates God's voice where it doesn't exist. I am not a person who uses God at my convenience. I am none of those things. I believe God wants me to save my marriage. And I believe that because my heart was so open to listening to what Michael had to say. At a time when I felt completely done, when I said, I cannot do this, I cannot take one more step, Lord. I cannot be this man's wife for one more day. I cannot do it. I am done. I am wifed the fuck out. I sat down at that table, and for some reason my heart was wide open. I was not defensive. I was not nasty. I was not aggressive. I was not dismissive or sarcastic. I was wide open to him. And I thought, you got to be fucking kidding me. Real talk. If we are really talking to each other, I thought, you got to be fucking kidding me. I came all the way down this road. I have pushed this rock up this hill and had it drop back on me 1,000,000 times. Yet here I am at this table ready to go. And my heart is wide open. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? And I thought, wow, God is real, because I believe that God wants me to save my marriage. So I listened. So I listened to what he had to say. And I allowed Michael to get to a safe place where he did say to me, I love you more than I have ever loved anyone in this world. but it does not mean that my love is the right love for you. That is the truest. Y'all, if that is not some truth from a man who struggles to speak it, truth bombs dropping at the restaurant. Just truth bombs. And I said to him, why do you even want to stay in this marriage? I continue to tell you what I need and you continue to not meet those needs. I hate making you feel like a failure. Why do you even want to stay in this marriage? And he said, because I want to be the man you deserve. I want to be that man. I just don't know how. Well, guys, he's going to be 55. I'm 41. I don't know how to teach him. So we talked. And, we cried. And there was silence. But I really could feel God. Like, I really could. I really believe that the reason I was so calm and open was because God wants me to save this marriage. And I don't even know, like, how or if I'm hearing the right voice or if I'm fooling I don't really know. And the answer is we don't have all the answers. We don't. But this is real life, people. This is real life. What you watch on TV, what you see in the movies, what people put on Facebook, it's not real. This is real. And there are so many of us trying so hard to figure it out and make the right decisions. Trying to decide what the right definition of happiness is to follow. Is it mine? Is it his? Is it ours? Is it my kids? And there are tears in real life, and there are runny noses and watery eyes, and there are sweaty armpits and confusion about faith and fear. And, so for right now, the answer is we don't know. We don't know. We didn't have a resolution when we left the restaurant yesterday, and we don't have one now. We're just in limbo right now. But something has to give. Something has to give, and I believe that it will. I will continue to pray about it, and I think Michael will too. But if it doesn't work, I know where to turn, and I know who will help, and nobody loves their kids more than we do, and my children have all of you who love them so much. And if it does work, there will be many more coffee talks about how hard it is. And we'll just figure it out, but it is scary. It is scary. Most people who struggle to stay in their marriage do so because they are fearful that the infraction will happen again, not for lack of love. Let me explain that to you. I'll use infidelity as an example because infidelity is one we can all understand, okay? Most people who are afraid to stay in their marriage are afraid not because of lack of love, but because they're fearful the infidelity will happen again. That's why they're scared to stay. That's why they're afraid to work it out. It has nothing to do with love. If love was enough, who would get divorced? No one. It's fear. Fear is terrible. And that's, that's the truth. So, Keely Lorraine. Keely, I missed it, but that was a sweet thing to say. So, when you judge a woman who's ending her marriage, when you look at her and you judge her and you go, oh, she just didn't love him, or she just didn't blah, blah, blah. No, she's terrified. She's terrified that the pain she was in and the lies and the mistrust and the feeling like a fool and all of those things will happen again. And she just can't put herself through it. So before you judge anybody else, you need to know that fear is real. Fear is real. And it's powerful. So I love you, and I love you for showing up for me every single day. And I love that you guys are praying for us. And that the majority of you, 90% of you, 95% of you, have really beautiful, uplifting, kind, supportive things to say. Just know, if you ever want to get blocked by me or beat up, say some shit about my kids. How you feeling today, Sullivan? Sluggish. Why? I don't know. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you love me?
Scale from 1 to 10?
Yeah.
10.
10? 10. You have a nice ass. Gotta count for something, right?
One redeeming quality, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, that's 1 point on the board, Sullivan. You gotta laugh, right? You gotta laugh or you'll cry. Anyway, so we're still here. I don't know why every time I talk about this, my armpits sweat so bad. I will, Mare. Listen, he knows y'all love him. He really does. He knows y'all love him. He knows you love our children. And he knows y'all love him. No, Janice, girl, he has a beautiful ass. Listen, Michael, we could be divorced and he could be out there dating other people and be like, you see my baby daddy? He got a beautiful ass. He does. He's got a beautiful ass. All right, I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And just know that I love you and I appreciate you. And we do. And don't forget to leave your shoes by the bed. According to Charlie, you could get Frank and Mers and something else. All right, I love you guys so much. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a great, great day.